It's an absolutely dreadful day in the world of Magic the Gathering. Wizards of the Coast's plans for the new upcoming Standard Showdown are absolutely insane. It's the dumbest thing I've seen in a long time. On top of that, Karlov Manor is being roundly rejected by not just players, but local game stores as well.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered to discuss the absolutely wretched state of Magic the Gathering, specifically when it comes to LGSs. Now, you may not know, but yesterday I did a live stream talking about how LGSs are being crushed by Wizards right now, and that live stream is up on my archive. So if you want to check it out and hear more details about everything we're going to discuss here, you can find that there. I'll leave it linked at the end of the video. So let's talk about Standard Showdown, something that was once actually a glorious idea from Wizards of the Coast that now has become 100% laughable, to the point where I was sent the information about this and I said, "Are you trolling me?" And I was sent the link directly to Wizards' post about it, and I read it and went, oh, no way, this is insane. I absolutely would have talked about it in the live stream if I had known before. So let's talk about what Standard Showdown is supposed to be, and I'll give you a look at what it was before so you can truly appreciate how crazy what Wizards is doing is. So Standard Showdown was a great idea to start out with. Wizards of the Coast had an entire path. If you don't know, Standard actually used to be the biggest thing in Magic. If you're new, you can be forgiven for thinking, oh, it's Commander, right? Because Wizards prints hundreds and hundreds of legendary creatures every year for Commander, and there's tons of Commander stuff going on, and pre-release kits even come with Commander stuff. So you could be forgiven for thinking that Commander is all that Magic ever was. But once upon a time, and for a long time, Standard was the gateway portal into Magic the Gathering. This was where you started. It was the easiest place to start, and most importantly, it was very, very supported by Wizards of the Coast. And by that, I mean we had standard seasons for each set, and there would be all these different events plotted along the entirety of that. We had Friday Night Magic as the backbone. Come in every Friday, we're going to be playing Standard, no problem. Hone your skills, build your deck up. We also have the Standard Showdown happening once a week, usually on something like a Saturday, right? So you come in, again, you're playing Standard. Now, this runs week after week after week, leading up to either a game day or a store championship, a stair championship. Come on, fatties, let's get up the stairs, son. That would actually probably be pretty good for some people. But either way, you either had a store championship or the actual game day event, which kind of served the same purpose. Wizards kind of ping-ponged those around trying to figure out where they should settle. But Standard Showdown was a win from the get-go, and honestly seemed like a pretty nice program from Wizards. It utilized special Standard Showdown boosters. They looked like this, cool little regular style looking boosters, a little bit thinner than normal. They only had, if I'm remembering, somewhere between 3 to 5 cards in them. But these 3 to 5 cards were promos, right? So you would get all kinds of different things. You could get the special variations of stuff they were giving out for Friday Night Magic, where you get the special dark borders, or you could just get like regular versions of things that were in Standard. Oh, cool, I got this rare. Oh, cool, I got this rare. And it had a little, if you've ever seen the little Planeswalker stamp in a Magic card artwork and wondered why it's there, that's from these Standard Showdown packs, right? And on top of that, they even included a code in there that was good for a booster pack on Arena, and you could use up to 5 of those codes. So if you're somebody who's really into Magic, playing on both levels, and you want that Arena bonus, cool, you get those packs, add them up, come back each week. There's something in there. It felt like a genuine reward. And get this, friends, and get this, if you were the winner of the event, they actually had special foil Standard Showdown packs. And in those packs, every card was foil. So you come in first place, boom, you get one of those. So Standard Showdown was a really big deal. I loved it, but Wizards of the Coast threw Standard off to the side, basically around the time of thrown a Veldrain, Wizards kind of started going, you know what? Standard isn't like our main entry point anymore. We want it to affect every other format. We want it to be a vector to get our way into modern, legacy, maybe even vintage if we can full on pull it off. But we definitely want to slam harder and harder into Commander. So as that focus fell away from Standard and as the world kind of shut down for a while, Wizards discontinued the Standard Showdown. There was a while there where Wizards really just wanted to completely gut the concept of the Pro Tour, and that's also what led to this, where they just went, you know what, we're spending a bunch of money on the Pro Tour, we don't think it's making us any money, so why don't we just shut it down? We'll switch it into an arena thing. We won't even really explain to people how they can get into it, but we'll keep it as an aspirational role. Doesn't work, guys. Doesn't work. One of the biggest flaws with Wizards' current business model is that they're thinking, yo, like 75% of our customers play Commander or whatever percentage it is, but they're not taking into account the fact that the people who play Standard, the people who are hardcore invested in the game, they spend the most money. I know this for a fact because I've been involved with selling Magic cards for a very long time. That's what I did before I did this. And Commander players are great for buying random individual singles and things like that, maybe picking up a Commander deck. What they're not good for is wanting a playset of hot new Standard singles. Commander players aren't out there running around going, yo, I need 4 Shieldreds right now. All of the different things that Wizards had used to make things work overall didn't really work the same way with Commander, which required a fundamental shift. So they're going, all right, forget these Standard chumps, forget all of that. But then they realized after a while, like, wait. We are seeing some big number shifts here in terms of the money we're making. We're not able to sell all these. Why aren't people buying our Standard booster boxes? Because they refuse to balance the format. They just went, you know what? Well, if everyone's playing Commander, we can just put crazy stuff in there. And we'll only ban cards once we've sold all the boxes. That's how they operate, right? So they go, oh, we've got all these draft boxes of all these sets kicking around, like Capenna and stuff that nobody wants. And they're about to leave Standard. What do? So they come out and they go, guys, we're revitalizing Standard. And people are like, what does that mean? Okay, so Standard's now a 3-year rotation. Okay, do you want to explain why you're doing that and what other fixes you have? Oh, that's all to be announced. Right? And you just go, okay, so clearly it's a desperation move to sell more of this stuff, right? And they realize, wait, like, people used to pay crazy money to buy all this stuff, and they're not now. And the margins on a Magic the Gathering booster box are incredible, right? The average Magic player playing on Arena provides nothing to Wizards in the Coast compared to people who are physically buying cards. These are the ones who are buying box after box. Like, yeah, you've got some whales on Arena, but most Arena players are not spending that much. The last I saw of Wizards numbers, they could expect to make maybe $70 off an Arena player over the course of an entire year, right? Physical Magic players, almost all of them who aren't like Commander players, just picking up one card here or there, are definitely spending way more than that. The hardcore people I know who used to buy tons of boxes are still buying a few boxes a set, and that really does add up, right? So Wizards of the Coast goes, okay, we need the Standard money back. Like, that's why we're seeing these shifts again. Why do you think play boosters exist? Because Wizards is like, we still want to sell physically, we still want this, we're not moving everybody to digital because there's way more money in paper, but we need Standard back. They had everybody running in this hamster wheel where we all accepted that our cards would be obsoleted for like after 2 years. But now they've got this 3-year rotation that they didn't design for. They've even said, well, the sets that we've got coming out now, we didn't have this in mind for. Yeah, because you're knee-jerk reacting to this stuff, right? So they just go, oh, we're just trying to staple it all together to be what it was. And now they go, we're bringing back the Standard Showdown. I hear that and I go, whoa, bro, we're moving in the right direction. This is fantastic. So, like I said, though, when I saw the actual details, I went, wait, are you joking me? Because it looks like we're dealing with cards that aren't Standard cards for the promos. So here's how it works. You know those cool booster packs with the special promos in it? Psh, they're not doing that. Here's how it works instead. If you show up to the first week of this event, you will get a non-standard legal common Dragon Lord Servant, okay? This is the promo that you get for showing up to play. A non-standard legal dragon boosting card that is essentially just leftovers from their celebration earlier in the year, and they just have them kicking around, and they're like, well, you know, we meant to use these in other parts of the world, but since they weren't and we got them kicking around, here you go. you can have them as a common for showing up. And the person who wins gets a special foil Sarkin. Again, nowhere near standard legal. This is standard Showdown. They would give you booster packs full of standard promos and stuff, right? Now I know what you're saying. Okay, that's the first week, buddy. What do they do after the first week? Well, after the first week, it gets really good because forget about the Dragon Lord Servant, forget about the chance to win a Sarkin. Now I want you to remember, first prize, foil pack of promo cards. And like up to anywhere from the next 3 to 8 people in the event could get packs. I remember 5 different people getting these packs. So it definitely wasn't only one person getting them. So we go from like top 4, top 5, each getting their own promo packs with number 1 getting a foil pack into the prizes are basic lands. And I don't mean you get a set of basic lands. You go to Standard Showdown. You beat everybody at the Standard Showdown. You get a basic land. And if you're lucky, the game store will let you pick one of the basic lands. And when you look at the actual image of what they're sending out, here's the image. They're only sending 10 lands, a handful of the promos, and the 1 Sarkin, which means even if the store owner wants to, there are literally no other promos to give out for this. Tell me how to do Standard Showdown while begrudgingly refusing to do Standard Showdown altogether. What is even the point? What is even the point of doing something like this? Who is this going to incentivize? Like, Wizards of the Coast includes special basic lands in every single set now. Like, special lands like this were a big deal back in like the Battle for Zendikar, or the original Zendikar days, actually, the original Zendikar days, where they went full art lands and people were like, whoa, and they actually had trade value, people desired them, but Wizards has done it over and over and over, and I, for one, love that. I like that each set has its own special land and that it's just included in there and it's not something crazy you have to chase. I've always thought the basic land secret layers they do are brain damaged. So now we have this concept trying to revitalize Standard where you've already made it 3 years, so it's just repugnant. If you think Sheoldred's a problem, she gets another year. And they think that what people want to hear is that they're not going to ban cards. That's the message they think they need to strongly send to people. Not that they're going to balance the format, none of that. Just, we're just not going to ban, so you'll definitely get to keep your cards. It's like they heard the complaints of people playing on Arena who are like, yo, I went to try and go and play Magic in the game store, but the mythic rares and stuff that I need, like Sheoldred's like a $90 card. How am I supposed to even get this for my deck? And so they're just like, Wizards is like, well, you know, there's reasons to go and play Standard. It's totally good and worth it. And we'll incentivize you to come and play Standard by offering you basic lands, bro. Like, basic lands are such a non-draw that in the new Secret Layer Super Draw, they literally don't have any basic land layers, right? And you look at what happened with the Judge Academy. What did they do right before they shut down the Judge Academy? They started giving them basic lands as rewards. So they've messed up Standard. They're going, oh, we're not going to ban cards so that you can feel comfortable going and spending $90 on a physical Sheoldred. But that just makes the format stagnant and awful, and it makes it harder for new sets to even make a dent. So they're going, we're bringing Standard back. But are you? It literally screams joke to me. And it's so unfair to stores too, right? Because there's like I don't think people understand how bad stores are getting it right now. Let's talk about how Karlov Manor is just hose bag central. Now you have to understand when it comes, let's talk about margins for a second and how stores make their money. Magic versus any of the other games they're carrying, okay? So Magic the Gathering gives you a margin of about 10%. To use an example that somebody specifically said yesterday, they're paying $175 to $180 for a booster box as the game store. The local game store pays $175 to $180 for a Karlov Manor box, okay? They turn around and try and sell it for about $209, something like that. So you're looking at roughly about $30, right? So you spend $175 to have a $30 margin that all of your expenses have to come out of. That's not your profit. You have to remove the cost of paying yourself, any employees running, like paying for the rent for the shop, electricity, all of it, all of that comes out of that tiny little chunk, right? Now, when it comes to any other game, take a board game off the shelf. A board game off the shelf that cost $175 for the game store to buy sells for $350. Basically, the margins are 5 times as much on anything but Magic. So Magic is a dicey game in terms of you don't have high margins. But for the longest time, and this is what the LGS owner who used to own the LGS I went to said, Magic always sells. That's not true anymore. And game stores know it. That used to be true. You could leave Magic boxes sitting around. They might not sell right away, but they would sell over time. That is no longer the reality, right? Magic has become dead weight that totally hoses your company. So a bunch of LGSs have turned around and sent the stuff back to distributors. Now, this isn't simple like you think, where you're just like, oh, it's like if I bought something on Amazon and returned. No. The distributors have all the power in the relationship with the store. So first of all, they can just refuse to take the product back. But what some of them do is charge a restocking fee where, oh, okay, you want to send $5,000 worth of Karlov Manor back to us? No problem. You're going to have to eat a 15% restocking fee. We're going to keep 15% of the money that you spent on this product, right? You need to understand as well, here's how it works. When it's time for these game stores to lock in their orders with the distributors, here's how much they know about the set. The name. That's it. That's it. Maybe the basic theme. They don't know any cards. They don't know how the market's going to react. They have nothing. They have to purely guess on whether it's going to sell or not, right? So I've talked to game stores who have told me they've sent 75% of their orders back, eating a 15% loss. So forget not getting your margins, but now you're down. Every $100 you spend on this, $15 gets eaten out of that by the distributor keeping it. And the product is so bad that it's worth it for you to do that. They're telling me, yo, there's a new Star Wars game coming. Lorcana's got another thing coming along. I need money for products that will actually move, right? Now, LGSs, like I've said many times, tend to be places that are run by somebody who loves gaming. They're not run by people who are master businessmen. They're running off emotions and their desire to share their love of gaming with people. And as a result, they can easily make decisions that destroy their business. Having thousands of dollars tied up in this product unusable is a big deal. And some people will say, well, if you're not good at running a business, then you're just going to go out of business. Well, I mean, that's not wrong. But on the other hand of it, this is the only way we get LGSs. They're places of pure joy and gamery. They're not opened up to become $1,000,000 endeavors. It's not like people go, do I want to become a doctor to become rich? Or like, do I want to join the NBA? Or do I want to open an LGS? An LGS is a way to lose money, right? Like, honestly, most of the people I know who run LGSs have spouses who have jobs so they can make sure they can pay for their home. You know what I mean? They're not profit-making endeavors. So they're being done out of love. And that's similar to the LGS that I spent my time growing up in. So these LGSs are part of the lifeblood of Magic. This is where the most invested players are getting together, playing, buying a bunch of product. LGSs are super important to Magic. I don't care what anybody says. Playing this whole, oh, we're in the new world, it's all digital. I don't buy it. Magic's player base is on average 30 or older. So we're dealing with people who are used to the real world. We're not bringing in like young children. They don't care anymore. The digital version of Magic isn't ensnaring a bunch of new young blood, and the people they are bringing in they're not translating over to paper Magic. And Wizards of the Coast can't survive on Arena alone. That is not going to work, right? There's no way they can afford the art, the development. Physical Magic is an absolute necessity. As far as I'm concerned, LGSs are an absolute necessity. And when Wizards abdicates responsibility for making anything close to a reasonable set, look at this clue set. It's garbage. It doesn't have any Magic flavor at all, really. They say it's on Ravnica, but it doesn't feel like it's on Ravnica. It's a totally disparate set that's crammed together. The concept that it's crammed around, the whole Agatha Christie whodunit, isn't strong enough to bring in a ton of people or support a set. The set has to deal with the fact that it wasn't designed to be in a 3-year standard. It wasn't designed for that at all, right? They had no idea. Because they spend like a year and a half making their plans for sets, and they knee-jerk react to the market and do all this craziness, you end up with a scenario where Standard is in the worst spot it's ever been in. And they turn around with the standard Showdown and hose bag it horribly. And then on top of that, Karlov Manor is such a disaster that stores just, oh yeah, I guess I'll lose 15% of my money because it's worse to be stuck with this product. So where is Wizards actually coming and helping these people? I don't understand like what the mentality is where you expect these Showdown events to be run, but you absolutely refuse to provide any promos at all. Is it because they're so terrified that they've ate up all the secondary market value on like everything for secret layers, right? Like secret layers have really messed up Magic's ecosystem big time. You look at them and go, at first Wizards is like, hey, check it out. Buy this Bitter Blossom secret layer. It's the same price as a Bitter Blossom is on the secondary market. But then they started to get crazier and crazier where they're just like, hey, will you buy like 40 cents worth of cards if we just like give them crappy artwork and didn't really even spend any time to check the wording on it, and we're going to sell you counter spells that are listed as a sorcery instead of an instant? Like all of it. The fact that the new Super Drop has literally no basic land secret layers shows how desperate Wizards is getting, because they were using those as filler. And the new secret layer drop, it's not sold out. It probably won't even sell out during the entire time frame. Wizards of the Coast has just brutalized the FOMO. But either way, between that and the remastered sets and their new rule of no set can have any valuable reprints over a certain dollar value because they're regular sets, and we only put reprints in based on secondary market value, they completely shifted gears to fully focusing on secondary market value and also going, we're going to eat your lunch, LGS. We're going to get in your way. We're going to sell singles around you. We're going to pretend like we care about you by making 2 secret layers for stores. But like, bro, even look at Magic 30. They did an end run around LGSs with Magic 30 where they're like, yo, we're selling $1,000 boxes of Magic. And the stores are like, so can we order these? It was like, no, but here's what we're going to do. For the optics of it, we're going to tell everybody we're sending you a box. And then that way, you're in on it too. And we sent the box for free. We sent a big expensive box for free. Aren't we the best? And then guess what happens? The whole market goes, so you want us to pay $1,000 for a box of proxies? That's what's going on? And then Wizards is like, no, but what are you talking about? This is great. And no, you can't even buy them. They're not available for sale anymore. They're, well, we can't legally say sold out, but this item is no longer available for sale. And then, well, who cares about the LGSs? Drag your feet for 4 months, even though you have the product, and finally send it out. After game stores had taken orders from people who were actually willing to buy it. There was a handful of people who wanted to buy it. And they're like, yo, they went to the game store and said, yo, I know you're going to get stuck with this. I'm going to pay you for it. And they paid them in advance. And then the game store waited months and months and months to the point where I actually thought Wizards wasn't even going to send them the Magic 30 boxes. So there's this insane adversarial relationship going on between Wizards and LGSs. And LGSs, they're such a crucial part of the Magic ecosystem that I can't understand why they're operating this way. Really, the only thing I can think of when it comes to the promo stuff is specifically they're going, all right, I'm going to keep this aside. We're going to do this. No, this is set for secret layer. This is set for secret layer. Like all the valuable cards. As a side note, guys, the new whatever card is the most valuable card from this super drop, don't buy it because it's in there, because they're just going to reprint it in another Magic set a set or two from now. That's what they've done. So when it comes time to make promos like this for the standard Showdown, well, guess what? They weren't thinking when they made standard 3 years. They just did it. And then they went, well, you know, we'll bring back standard Showdown. But like, well, we don't have anything to do with it. Maybe we should wait until we have packs made up and do all that. No, just find out what we have kicking around in the warehouse. We've got some old like Dragon Servant stuff from that previous promotion that we did in another part of the world, and just grab some basic lands. They're idiots. Who cares? All you gotta do is go special rewards. Who is going to come out and play standard all day to win a basic land that looks like you could pull it out of any booster pack? Like for real, for real. That's somebody who was just gonna go and play anyways. That's not an incentive. Even the first week's incentive is garbage. They're not standard legal cards. They went from giving out standard legal promo packs where you could get awesome mythics and all kinds of crazy goodness in it to straight up, here's a Sarkhan for one person, here's a bunch of Dragon Lord servants, because we just don't care. It's like telling your wife that you got her a Valentine's Day gift and then giving her a box that has a bottle of motor oil in it. It's that level where it's like, you shouldn't have even bothered, because it just smacks of the level of disinterest and non-care you have for taking care of the LGSs. And this is something I can rant about over a long period of time. In fact, like I said, I did in a live stream. It's over an hour long. There is a ton of crazy language in there because I get really worked up when it comes to LGSs, and I hate seeing Wizards just knock out the pillars of support that matter to the game. Standard is an incredibly important format. LGSs are incredibly important for the game. These are non-negotiable. If I was wrong, Wizards wouldn't be trying to push their way back in, friends. Anyways, that's all I have to say for now. You want to hear more? Go check out that live stream. Big thank you to all of my patrons for supporting my channel. And I will see you all, my friends, in the next video.